How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint, which was up almost 14% on the Friday. We've been talking about this play for quite some time. And most recently, I was saying, are you going to buy the fear or steer clear? Look where we're at right now. ChargePoint being on a strong run. Plus, you got earnings coming up. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $13.45, being up 13.89%. On the low, it tested $11.85, and then on the high, testing $13.49. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 16.455 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 9.316 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we saw some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 56.39. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 50-day, and we're well above the 21-day EMA. But overall, looking at the trend, do know that ChargePoint is in a bear market since it's trading below the 200-day moving average. So I must say, I'm loving this run-up that ChargePoint has been on. If you guys remember when I was talking about should you buy the fear and so on, when I did that video, this stock was trading below $10. So it has been on quite the move, seeing a high of $13.49 on Friday. So they do have earnings that is coming out on Tuesday. So the first thing I'd want to be paying attention to, if we end up putting up some solid numbers for earnings, I want to see if ChargePoint can get to the 50-day moving average at $14.73. That would definitely be a good look for the play, and I'd want to see that move going to around $16. Another point that we want to bring up, let's say for example, if it decides to pull back. If it decides to pull back, since it has been on a strong run-up, you'd want to see it hold above the 21-day EMA, which is at $11.88. So we know as far as support is concerned, it tested at $11.85 on the Friday. So this is an area you want to keep a very close eye on. I know many of you most preferably want to see ChargePoint holding above $12. We know this company is not profitable as of yet. Let's be clear here. So that is why I'm giving you guys these price levels. If it ends up being okay and we decide to have a pullback or have some consolidation, as long as we're above the 21-day EMA, things will look good for the play. The moment that we break through it, then ChargePoint can come back down to trading in the $10 range very quickly. And if the earnings end up being real bad, then of course we'll see the stock falling back below $10. So it'll be very interesting to see what ChargePoint does going into Tuesday, but I'll be keeping an eye on it. So let's take a look at the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. So scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 27th, we have Alger Midcap 40 ETF that purchased 18,545 shares, and then we also have SPDR Portfolio MCI Global Stock Market ETF that purchased 270 shares. And then quickly for the 26th, we have Bank of New York Mellon, which is the active midcap fund class A that purchased 38,560 shares. And we have Lacor Dynamic Economic Equity Fund Class A with a short position of 2,151 shares. So now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 58.09%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.19 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 80,000, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 8.39%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 26th is at 56.97, and then for the close of the 27th being at 58.09. So that's creeped up a bit. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 18.43%, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we see on the inflow it was at 28.85 million, and then on the outflow it's at 31.12 million. So we had an outflow day on the Friday. Taking a look at the numbers further, on the large it was 0, on the medium it was 18.42 million, and then on the small it was 10.43 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large it was 1.34 million, on the medium it was 20.66 million, and then on the small it was 9.12 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see from May the 27th that outflow of negative 1.34 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then for the large, represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.90%. No surprises there for a volatile stock like ChargePoint. It has been picking up quite a bit. We've been seeing a lot of strength in the market overall. Of course, it is benefiting from this, and this is part of the reasons why we're seeing a very strong move up. We'll talk about it further in the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, when it comes to the price action, as far as for a move to the upside, the high of the day we saw on Friday was at $13.49. So for this coming week, we want to see a move above this level. I want to see ChargePoint actually get to $15. I feel this is very achievable, but we have to understand they also do have earnings. So knowing that that volatility is going to be coming into the play, depending on how that earnings does turn out, will depend on whether ChargePoint goes to $15 and even higher. But as far as what I'm expecting as an investor, I'm not expecting big things whatsoever, but I do want to see some improvements. I know they're still going to be on a path to profitability, and I don't see it happening with this current report that's going to be coming up. That is just my honest opinion. So we end up having a pullback. Of course, I want to see support hold above the 21-day EMA, which is around $11.88. And that is not too much to ask whatsoever, especially if the market is continuing to be on an uptrend. And I know what you're saying, Dre, that's pretty far off from where it's at right now. And I'm just saying, in regards to earnings, if it decides to have a pullback, because I could see it wanting to pick back up, especially as the market moves up. If the earnings ends up being a big time disappointment, and if they end up putting out really bad financials, then this stock will go back to trading below $10. And I know many of you know that already. We are in a very volatile market, and companies that are not putting up decent earnings are going to get destroyed. And I feel that ChargePoint will not be immune to this. So if they're able to actually put up something that is average or even good, the odds are in their favor for the stock to actually move up. So this has to be really bad, but that's something that I'm just not expecting. So I'm going to continue to be bullish, and as far as for the short term, this play should be able to get to $15, if not this week, within the coming weeks. I'll talk about more why I believe that as well. Also, we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership. We do see institutions loading up on shares, which is fairly consistent. And then taking a look at the short interest information, ChargePoint does have short squeeze potential. There's many shorts who are vested inside of this play. So just knowing that, it contributes to its volatility. And that's why I was saying when I made that video about buying the fear, that's why you had the opportunity to really load up while it was trading under $10. And this is just how the market works. So I'm hoping that you had a strategy and you were able to take advantage of that opportunity. Now, as far as what I was saying earlier about the overall market, I can continue to see this uptrend. And the main reason behind it, we have Amazon that's going to be doing their stock split. So of course, many stocks are going to run alongside with Amazon. Amazon. We know Amazon, and as well as the other FANG stocks, we're talking about Facebook, Apple, we also have Netflix, and also adding in Google, and we could also throw Microsoft in the bunch as well. So whenever you have Amazon that's going to be running up due to the fact of their catalyst that is coming up, if the market follows along, this is going to push up a lot of the mid-cap stocks as well, and that's why I'm saying that ChargePoint could benefit from this. And seeing the rally that the market has been on, am I saying that this is going to continue for months on end? No. But what I am saying, as far as for the trend and the catalyst we have coming up, and we also have Google that's going to be doing a stock split in July, things are definitely looking good for the market, and that's why I can see many plays are going to be picking up. And of course, you could always come to this channel and I'll keep you guys updated with the stocks that we tend to speak consistently about. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how ChargePoint performs on Tuesday. We'll talk soon.